everyone, thanks for coming to watch. I'm going to show you how to make delicious Skittles bubblegum. Here I have my chewing gum kit that I'm going to use, and I got this off Amazon and it came very quickly. I was very happy, and so I'm going to use the flavors that they provided with it, and then I am going to show you how I turn some of the bubblegum into Skittles bubblegum. So it looks like it's going to be lots of fun. It has all of the supplies provided, and I'm pretty excited to show you how to do this. Alright, let's open it up and see what supplies we have. So the first thing I noticed is our microwavable dish and all the ingredients inside it, and here is the instructions. And the cool thing about these instructions is that it has a little history lesson regarding where gum came from. So if you're really interested in that, at the end of the sort of recipe part of the video, I will read you guys out that part. So it's just going through all the stuff that we have here: the gum base, icing sugar, cornstarch, the flavor packs, in this case there's grape and cherry, and a black plastic container, which is microwavable. So we're going to go through all these steps. I will show you how to do it, and it's going to be lots of fun. And then after I do the flavors that are provided, I'm going to turn this bubblegum into Skittle bubblegum, and it's so easy, you guys. Alright, let's take a look at our ingredients. So here is our flavor packs. That's cherry, and this is grape, and I have a feeling these are going to be so yummy. And then this is what I'm interested in. So this is the pure gum base, which I've never seen before, so I was pretty excited to get this. And they look like little teeny tiny pellets. And here we have our corn syrup, which is going to provide the sweetness to our gum. Here's our icing sugar, which you roll around the gum with because it is so sticky and you might actually end up using all of it. This is our microwavable pan. Definitely use this, as that gum is so sticky that you don't want to use one of your own dishes because it will almost be impossible to take off. Little tip, I used a popsicle stick to stir. So here are my flavor packs. So these are Skittles that have been ground up in a coffee grinder. So I have all the colors here, and I'm going to show you how I did it with my red Skittles. So it does end up being a pretty fine powder, which is pretty nice. So here I have your basic coffee grinder. This is a Braun, and hopefully this works for everybody. Obviously don't go and break your coffee grinder, but I just put it in there and it chops up the Skittles immediately. I hold it for about 10 seconds and it comes out in a nice powder. If it does sound weird, obviously open it up and maybe a Skittle is stuck under the blade or something, but it does work quite well. And sometimes it gets sticky, obviously, depending on where you live. If you live in a humid location, it might end up getting stuck together, so just watch that. Okay, we're almost ready to start. It does say to grab a rolling pin, so if you have one, great. If not, it's actually not a big deal because all it is to flatten out the gum if you want to cut it into your little gum squares. So if you have one, good, but if not, don't worry about it. So let's get started. At the top of everything, it does say to have adult supervision because we are using the microwave, so please ensure that you have that if you are following along with these instructions. So after that, it says to soften the corn syrup. So all you're going to do is have a cup of water. I microwaved it for about a minute, and I'm just going to put it in. I haven't opened the bag or anything, so we're just softening it up so that when you add it to the gum, it can stir in nicely. Okay, so try to submerge it completely, and then I'm just going to move it aside because I'm going to start prepping everything else. Okay, step 2 is preparing the kneading surface. So you definitely want to have this ready before microwaving the gum, as you put it down pretty much right away. So this is where it says sprinkle half of the confectioners or the powdered sugar onto your surface, and definitely just use half because you're going to find that as you knead your gum, you'll actually be using more and more. Okay, so let's move on to the gum part. So after we open this package, you're going to pour it into the microwavable pan that was given to you. And I started with a 1 minute time in the microwave, and then I went to 20 seconds after that and stirring it each time. Okay, let's put this in the microwave and again start with 1 minute and see what happens. Okay, Okay, so in total this took about 2.5 minutes to get. I did stir it, like I said, every 20 seconds after I did it 1 minute at the beginning. And so I'm just trying to stir it all up. The little pellets are soft. I'm just trying to stir it all together to get it to the same consistency now. So obviously this stuff is looking super sticky. Even when you put the corn syrup in, it doesn't get any less sticky. So that's why they give you lots of that powdered sugar, because you're going to need tons of that to roll this stuff in. And every time you roll it over and you expose yourself to a fresh part of this gum, it gets stuck to your finger like crazy. So you might actually go through that whole bag of powdered sugar that they give you. I'm absolutely loving how this is looking so far. It is obviously starting to look like gum, so I'm just going to stir it up a little bit more just to get all the little lumps out, and then we're going to add the corn syrup. Prior to pouring it on my powdered sugar here, I'm just going to flatten it out just to make sure that it doesn't get anywhere else, and you guys may want to do the same. Okay, so carefully scrape it out of your container, and again ensuring that it all lands on the sugar. This is going to be so much fun to make, you guys. Once you have everything scraped out, you're going to slowly start rolling it together and kneading it, and I'm trying really hard here not even to even touch it. I'm just sort of scooping up the powder and putting it around it. Once you do touch it, you're going to notice that it sticks to your fingers immediately, and it's actually kind of hard to get off because it's so sticky. So just try your best to use the sugar as sort of like a pad between the sticky stuff and your fingers. Just a reminder that this is straight from the microwave, so it will be warm. It's not necessarily going to be super hot, depending on how long you put it in. Obviously, if you put it in for a long time, it will be hot. So be extremely careful. There's nothing wrong with letting it cool off just a little bit prior to doing this, but the icing sugar, again, does protect your fingers a little bit from that heat. I think this is almost ready for some flavor. I'm getting to the point where it's not sticky anymore on my fingers. There's still some sticky spots, so you just have that sugar, and remember just to feel free to pour out more sugar on the table or on your gum and then work it in. So there are, you can see little sticky spots still, so I'll just put some sugar there, but in general it's starting to feel pretty good. So I'm going to roll it out here, and I'm going to divide it into 7 balls because I have my 2 flavor packs from the package, and then I have my 5 rainbow Skittle flavors. So I have my gum divided equally into 7 little balls, and I'm going to try the first flavor, which is going to be the grape, which came with the package. The beauty of this is that you can put as little or as much flavor as you would like, and you're also going to notice that I eventually add some food coloring. This is totally optional, but if you do want to make it look a little bit more like grape, you can do that too. If you choose to put in food coloring, obviously you are welcome to wear some gloves so you don't get food coloring all over your hands. I decided not to, so you're going to see the color of my hand change throughout this video. It's going to be so awesome. And for all those people out there that obviously think hand washing is very important, which it is, yes, I washed my hands, and no, nobody else is eating this gum. But if you guys are making gum for other people, please, please, please make sure that you do wash your hands. And you know what? They might even enjoy being part of the process to make the gum, because it is a lot of touching, obviously. Or you can just wear gloves the whole time. That would be easier too. So that's pretty much how you make the gum from start to finish with the color. So I'm gonna quickly zip through the cherry one here, and then we're gonna move on to the Skittle flavors. So here are the 2 bubble gums that came with the package, and then we're going to move on to adding Skittles to our gum. So you're going to need the Skittle powder in similar to the flavor packets that came with the kit. The Skittle powder is a little bit stickier, obviously, because it's out of the candy, and it could definitely also get a little bit stickier based on where you live with the humidity, but it's definitely worth it, so just keep kneading it in. It will work itself in, and you won't even notice it anymore. And you're also welcome to add food coloring. that's it. That's how you make your own Skittles chewing bubblegum. If you're interested, here is the history of the chewing gum. Obviously, you can pause on this to read it. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Make sure that you guys keep coming back for more.